Welcome to my besties Sarita and Nipa. We decided that we would like to talk about toxic relationships, hurtful relationships, and some questions that all of us have and we've not been able to ask, and just have a conversation, let it free flow and let the conversation just guide itself and direct itself. So welcome and thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having us here.
You can ask me questions about hurtful relationships, and we can take it from there.
Would you like to go first?
Yeah, fine. So, Kalpana, we live in a family environment in which, we expect people around us in the home to be kind towards us, to be compassionate, to understand how we feel. And sometimes what happens is unspoken words or a silent treatment by the spouse also mentally affects us. It may not be violent, or it may not be abusive, or it may not be like there is verbal aggressive communication.
Right.
But the exact opposite is something which is very hurtful.
Right.
So how do you deal with that?
Very good question, very layered, and I have to answer it delicately, because what we're trying to do is find the symptoms of relationships that are hurtful. In answering your question, there are many layers to it. So we cannot look at it with one event. We have to look at it with a series of cumulative life events, where at the end of the day, at the end of all the accumulation of the behavior, do you feel that you have been uplifted and upheld, and that there is that backing? So sometimes the spouse may not have the ability to communicate that expressively, or may not be that, match your personality in expression. But they are there for you, they are speaking with you, they are propping you up, they are giving you that support. So if that's what you feel, then it's healthy, and there's a lot of potential in working through the issues, working through the problems in terms of the conversation or the emotions. But if the cumulative is hurtful, most of the times it gives you self-doubt, it makes you change your personality. Oh, this color doesn't look good on you. Oh, that you shouldn't have said when you went out to that party. Why did you speak to that person? And it's a bunch of all these little things, or like you said, a silent treatment, where you're actually, forget not expressing, but in the silent treatment, you are being invalidated and negated at a very core level. So that then becomes your yardstick, that do I feel supported? Do I feel good? Or is it always a confusion? Is there a brain fog all the time where I'm going for support, but I'm doubting myself and my core? So that is the call that needs to be then taken. And if the latter is what you're feeling, then you have to kind of sit with those emotions and process those emotions in a way where you can navigate what is going on in your life. And like you said, it's not abusive, it's not violent, it's not any of those things, but the psychological impact on you has to be assessed.
So I have a similar question.
Okay.
It's similar, like there is no abuse, there is no loud talking, but sometimes, like, do you think we are asking for more? Like, we are looked after, we are spoken to well, but still there is some kind of something missing in that relationship. So sometimes it's not a doubt, but I feel like, am I expecting too much out of a relationship? That sitting down, it's not happening. That sitting down and communicating, and I'm even thinking, will that person understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So there are moments of sadness,
Right.
supposing,
Yes.
and we need somebody to ask us.
Yes.
But that doesn't happen. So how do you deal with situations like that?
So in that situation, if you're able to express your emotion and your requirement, your expectation, and you've said it, and a couple of times it has not been done, and then you have asked it again. So it could be a personality trait of that person, just without any toxicity, or it could be a trait that is toxic, where they are self-immersed and your requirements, your needs are constantly not being met.
So what do you do in a situation like this? Do you just let it be, or you learn to just be by yourself and just ponder upon those positivities and just accept it and go on with your life?
So it depends on you entirely, where you are in wanting to make it work and what it is exacting out of you as a human being. And are you feeling fatigued, drained, exhausted emotionally? Are you holding on to that relationship? And if the answer to all those questions is yes, then there is a mental recheck that needs to be made. So, of course, at that point, you have to take a call that, given everything, is it that big a deal that you need to take further action? Or is it something where you can understand that that unmet need is really a part of your own self-growth and evolution process? So a lot of times, all our baggages with each other and our traumas with each other, we are trauma dumping on one another. And when we are doing that, we are actually not either respecting ourselves and also them. You're not the rescuer of their trauma. Many times we assume the role of the savior. We need to save that person at our cost. So I am a believer that that is where the fatigue, the emotional drain comes in. And that's where you have to process it. You have to go deep into your own trauma, your own baggage, and then work with that to see, when I do the work on myself, then is it a livable partnership? Is it the partnership that gives me worthiness? Because a lot of times when you show up being unworthy and undeserving, you're accepting and setting the record and the boundaries for a lot of things. So have you set your own boundaries? Once you've set your boundaries and somebody else has consistently not respected your boundaries, then that's a no-go. That's when you have to tell them. That's when you have to then escalate it in your own sphere to another level, till such time that you know that you're showing up authentically and being loyal and true to your own self.
Yeah. Also, I sometimes wonder, like, are we only expecting, like, always asking for validation from someone else? Can we not be confident enough to just say, this is how I am, and this is, like, why does our happiness have to depend on somebody else?
Amazing. That's an insight. That's an aha moment right there, Nipa. Yeah. So basically what you're saying is, when we are showing up hungrily saying, somebody has to say I'm looking good, somebody has to say I speak well, somebody has to love me and give me that space in their life, then I feel like I can own my space. And that's the detachment. First, you have to be worthy of occupying your own self. When you can do that and when you can understand what that means, it's not a out there concept. Every moment, if you feel that no matter what baggage they are bringing in, so if they are bringing in chaos in that moment, am I being sucked into that chaos, or am I saying that's not for me? I'm not going to get drawn in because I feel belittled or berated by them. I'm upholding myself. I'm walking out of that chaos. I'm doing what I have to do.
Yeah. So what you are trying to say is, know that moment and just know that
Detach.
Yeah. Like if it's toxic for you, at a certain, just take a step back.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. and don't find that validation outside, because that will always disappoint. It doesn't matter who you're seeking that validation from, whether it's a friend, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a mother, whether any relationship, the validation comes from yourself first, and the expectation is from you. So if you cannot respect yourself, if you cannot be loyal to yourself, how can you expect that another person? So that is what we learn. How can I be loyal to myself? And how can I be respectful to myself? So can you all answer that? What does it mean to you all when I say, what things and activities and thoughts would you have that are self-loyal?
Affirmations to say that I'm strong, I'm capable, I'm more than enough, I'm complete, I am beautiful, I am intelligent, I'm an achiever, and the universe is supporting me.
Yes.
If these words, if we can say to ourselves,
Yes.
then definitely it conveys a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're looking at yourself and saying these, first you need to believe it also.
Yes.
We need to believe that yes, I am beautiful, and if I love myself, only then can I expect someone else to give me that love.
So believing is where the key is. You hit it bang on target, but believing comes after a while, because when you're so focused on getting the validation or the love or whatever it is you're looking for from outside, and that's been your training. We have been trained to expect it from outside. So the believing will come when you start to say it. You may not believe it at first, but you live your life as if you are believing it. So you're looking after yourself, you're showing up authentically, you're not getting drawn into arguments or into spaces which are not true of you. So you are now making this whole template and structure, your skeletal system, the basic foundation of you that says these things, that says, yes, I may not believe it completely, but this is who I am and this is how I want to show up. And when you are confident that this is the way, that will then lead you finally to believing yourself. And it will take time. It's not something that just happens like that. It takes a lot of, when that criticism comes in to you. Okay, why did you do it this way? It has to be done that way.
So the key is to recognize that it's criticism, which is sometimes criticism will help you grow, and sometimes it will pull you down. So we need to
see the difference.
Be
able to see what is it that you think is helping you and what is not meant for you. It was like a regurgitation of their trauma. So, however, because we've been caught in our own trauma and our own training, we get drawn into that, and then we start to doubt that, oh, was that right? Am I like that? Should I have done it that way? Maybe I shouldn't do it this way. That's where you say, it's not for me, it's not personal about me. It may have come from the one who I'm closest to, but there's something there which they need to deal with, and there's something here which I need to deal with in order to recognize the difference, and then to recognize how I take the corrective steps to have that firm faith and belief in myself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This has been really good. I hope it has been helpful.
It has. Thank you, Kalpana.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys can also resonate with the things that have been spoken of today. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. Thank you.